I'm just going to do a quick demonstration on how to make these teeny weeny mushrooms. I use these in making little thimble gardens and my towns in a teacup and all that kind of stuff. And what I like to do is build mine on straight pins. This way I can push it into the cork or moss or whatever it is that's my base, and it'll stay there securely. So especially when you have something so tiny as well, it adds stability to the stems. So anyway, there's a finished one, and as you can see, there's all different colors and shapes of mushrooms that you can make, but I'll just show you a quick one right now. So I take a new straight pin. If you use an old one, there is the possibility that it'll rust, and then you get the rust up through the paper clay, and it's pretty ugly. Anyway, so I use paper clay. This is creative paper clay, which comes in a package that looks like this. It's really nice stuff. It air dries, lightweight, you can paint it, sand it, it's pretty cool. So I take a teeny tiny little bit and I sort of make a hot dog bun like that. Then I roll it between my thumb and finger, and then I lay it in my palm and then just roll it in there so that it thins out and covers quite a bit of the pin. If you like, what you can do is push up the bottom and it'll sort of make the bottom a little bit thicker. It's up to you. What I usually do is make a whole bunch of the stems and push them into the foam or a piece of foam or sponge and let them dry a little bit, because then they're a lot easier to handle. Otherwise you might squish them. So I'll just make one more, the tiniest little bit, little hot dog, roll it, roll it, roll it, and there you go, easy peasy. So when you're done that part, you take another little piece of paper clay. If you find it's drying out like this is, you can add just the teeniest bit of water to sort of activate it again. So take a little piece and make a ball. If you cup your hand like this and then just push in a little bit, you'll get a bit of a dome shape, which is sort of what mushrooms can look like. And then you just push it right on to the top of your stem. You can make all different shapes and sizes. If you like like a hollowed bottom, you can use a pencil, and it'll give you a shape like that. Again, just sort of push it on, and that's that. So when you're done, after it dries, paper clay is really nice and white. It's lovely stuff, really. You might find that after it dries, the tops might pop off of your mushrooms. Don't worry about that. Take the bottom piece and just dip it into a tiny bit of white glue. Oops, come on. And plop it right back on there, and it'll dry fine. So when they're dry, you can, and wait until they're dry before you do this. When they're dry, you can paint them. And mushrooms come in all sorts of colors, but we'll make the red cap ones. And the paper clay holds the colors really, really nicely. And I find if you just sort of brush downward like that, that generally you get a pretty nice edge. Even if you run the paintbrush along like this, that's good too. Go. And if you want to make little dots on them, I suggest using a toothpick. You'll want to wait until it's dry to do it, but if you just use a toothpick and I find if you use a brush to do this, you get funky shapes, but if you use a solid object, you get nice little dots. And when you're done, you could spray them with a finish if you like, but more often than not I just leave mine alone. And that is how you make teeny weeny mushrooms.